Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks a bunch for stopping by. Today's beer comes from Firestone Walker Brewing. These guys are out in California. This is their Helldorado 2016. Sent to me by my brother Rico. Had this beer for a while, guys. This is 11.8%er, 24 IBUs according to Untappd for the 2016 edition. Beer Advocate clumps them all together, and they're saying here it's a 12.8%, which is not correct because they clump them all together like a bunch of dumbasses. This is 11.8%. The 2016 edition is. Different batches, different years have different ABVs a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times it does. So basically, Beer Advocate's throwing it all in the same category no matter what the ABV or anything is. So it's hard to tell by that grading and that clumping of the beers together what the IBUs are and the ABV is and all that. So big reason why that site's dying, guys. In my humble, honest opinion, it is. Less and less people are posting on that site, and it won't be long before it'll be history. As far as I'm concerned, that's just my personal opinion. Over to Untappd, they say the commercial description, part of an adventure of aging beer in retired spirits barrels is the synergistic interaction of different malt flavors with the oak and spirit flavors from the barrels. Darker beers like stouts and candidates. Stouts and darker barley wines have typically been flavored candidates for barrel aging due to their deeper caramel and roasted flavors. Helldorado beers that mold with a deep golden color from being brewed solely with English and American pale malts. The bready, honeyed flavors of pale malts pull out the rich wildflower honey, vanilla, and coconut notes from the oak, creating an overall flavor evocative of bourbon glazed graham crackers that stands as singularly unique in our vintage lineup. Helldorado may be lighter in color, but it is a full body and densely concentrated sipper at 11.8%. Big long description now, guys. This is according to the box. It is a blonde Barleywine ale. So, and y'all know what I feel about these cardboard boxes that they put them in. And I think if they're even still doing it, I'm not sure, they've reduced the 22 ounce to the 12 ounce because they realize they can sell that beer for about the same money as a 22 ounce. But putting them in these cardboard boxes adds cost to the beer. I don't care what if it's 2 cents or $1. It's adding cost to the beer, and then they're putting the shrink wrap label on the older ones. I don't think they're doing that on the 12 ounces anymore. So maybe, maybe you're going to get a better deal. I don't know. I haven't bought anything from this brewery in a long time. Like I said, this one was sent to me by my brother Rico a while back. So we're getting into these beers because I haven't had much sent to me recently, and we're pulling all of these out of the closet in the celery fridge and reviewing them. So, final beer of the evening for me here on this one, guys. So we've gone over everything we need. We know what the vintage is. I don't know exactly when in 2016 they've done this, whether it was beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, but they do very tasty beers, guys. So let's get this little foil thing off the top of the cap, and it comes off in one piece, which is very nice, and not no tighter than Dick's Hat Band foil or wax. Nice hiss, a little bit of smoke, and into the glass we shall go. And being 11.8%er, we're going to pour it fairly aggressive. Semi-cloudy coming out of the bottle. And there we go. Almost a finger of head on that pour. Over into the light. very cloudy, guys. It is very, very cloudy. I can't see a lot of light. A little bit more light coming through the thin part of the glass than there is up here. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt. Maybe a slight hint of some molasses, caramel, and toffee. Not a lot of any kind of chocolate. There might be some dark fruit notes in there when it comes up to room temperature. But the maltiness and the caramel and toffee is standing out more than anything. I'm not getting any bourbon notes or anything like that. I do think this is a barrel-aged beer, but I'm not sure what barrels they aged it in. And I could probably do a lot more research on these beers and spend hours getting more information and going to the websites and all that. I just don't have time for that, guys. Trying to run a business 6 days a week and 11, 12 hours a day, I just don't have time to do that. There are a lot of young bucks that's getting into the beer reviewing thing. I've been doing it almost 10 years now. That spend a lot more time editing and doing a lot of different stuff with their videos, and some of them are pretty damn good at it. So don't know how much longer I'm going to continue doing it. Once the beers run out from the closet and the cellar and fridge, I'm probably going to be done. Unless I get some stuff that I need to review from breweries or subscribers. Once it's done, it's done. So it's been a long and wonderful ride, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. I have the awesomest subscribers. I even had one the other day said, I seen you say that you're out of beer, I'm going to send you something. So I'm not begging for beer, guys. Don't take me wrong on that. So when it's done, it's done. It is what it is. So I enjoy doing this, but it may have run its course. So let's see what we got. We still got a few to go. So we'll play it by ear and see what happens. So smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, my brother. You've been awesome. All the beers you have sent me over the years. You the man. Cheers. Very pleasant. Alcohol is very well hidden. Not a big barrel-aged notes. Maybe a slight hint of some woodiness of vanilla in the taste. Not a lot of bourbon. If you're expecting a big bourbon note on this, you're not going to get it. But it is very pleasant. It's a very tasty beer. And it is a blonde. It's a lighter color than most barley wines are a mahogany color. And this is more of the amber color. So not quite as dark as your typical barley wine is going to be. So tasty though. It is. Very, very tasty. But probably not a cheap beer to buy. Especially with the packaging they're doing, especially being a bomber on top of that. So I don't know if you bought a bomber in a 2016, and maybe if they're still doing it, and you bought a 12-ounce bottle in a 2018 or 2019, I don't know when they converted over to the 12-ounce bottles, what the price difference would be, because I haven't bought any of their stuff lately. I don't have a lot of money. Running a gun store, there's not a lot of big profit in doing that business right now, especially where I'm at, where it's very competitive. There's 7, 8, 10 different gun stores, and it's very competitive here. So I don't even get a paycheck. I haven't had a paycheck in 7 years. It's in a couple of years, last years I was doing cabinets, building cabinets. Didn't get a paycheck, and I have never got a paycheck from the gun store. So basically it's a hobby. And I'm trying to sell enough at the gun store to pay the rent, and it's come to the point almost to where I can't do that. So I don't even know how much longer I'm going to be in business doing that. About time for this old guy to retire, and I'm probably going to do that sometime next year. I'm locked in on the lease till 2016, till May of 2020. So we'll see. If the gun business picks up, I may continue doing it. If not, I'm going to shut that puppy down too. And I'm going to retire, and I'm going to ride my motorcycle, maybe brew some beers, and go shoot my guns, and all the stuff that I haven't been able to do for the last several years. So we shall see. We're going to play everything by ear, the beer reviews, and running a gun store, and if nothing plans out, I'll stop doing all of it. So it is what it is. So guys, I hate to be crying on camera, but it is what it is. That's the real world we live in. Just like Amazon's putting all these other stores and stuff out of business, and you know, it's hard to compete with that when these people don't have retail stores and they're just selling stuff from the warehouse. And for the mom and pop stores to compete with stuff like that, it's very, very, very hard. So it's a day and age we live in, I guess. So it is what it is. So let me step on this bad boy, and we'll come back and we'll give this thing a grade. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sitting on it for a while. This is a tasty beer, no doubt about it. It is a tasty beer, but it is not world class or outstanding in my humble, honest opinion. For what this beer probably cost Rico to buy, you could probably have bought a nice bourbon barrel aged version and get the bourbon notes and be a little tastier than what I am getting here. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I try to do that on every freaking beer review that I do, whether I bought it or somebody sent it to me. This is a tasty beer. It's a very well made beer. But for what this beer probably costs Rico to buy, or whether he bought it or I bought it, I'm not that super impressed. It is not an outstanding or world-class beer, guys. It's not. It is definitely not to me. I've had much better than this. And for what this beer costs, like I said, probably doing it in the 12-ounce bottles if they're still doing the Helldorado now. I'm not sure about that. I don't have that information, whether they're still doing it or not. This is a 2016 edition. Being at 12.8%, I think is what this one is. Let me see. No, this is 11.8%. I'm going to confirm that on the bottle. 11.8%. So the ABV changes from batch to batch or year to year. 11.8%. So Beer Advocate, as far as I'm concerned, are sucking hind tit, because they clump them all together and you don't know what ABV, if you look at that site, what you're buying or what you're drinking. Where Untapped usually, not always, but usually has the different years or different batches listed. So Untapped has it listed as the 2016 edition at 11.8% and 24 IBUs, which is what this beer is. Gives you a more accurate reading of what the guys that are drinking this think about the beer. And instead of a lot of misinformation, which you're going to get from either Rate Beer or Beer Advocate. I don't even use Rate Beer anymore, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to continue to use Beer Advocate, because they suck too. If you can't find out what year you're drinking or you're purchasing and get more accurate reviews from that, you don't know, you know, what to think. If you're going over to Beer Advocate and they say it's a 12.8%, and then what you've got is a 11.8%, that's a whole percentage different. So that's why less and less people are using that site to post their reviews, because they clump them all together. So as far as I'm concerned, they suck. And like I said, I keep saying that review after review that I'm going to stop using them, and I still continue to do that. And I don't know why. I don't know why, guys. I shouldn't. I should not. And I've had subscribers tell me, oh, you should maybe post something different about that. But still, it doesn't matter. No matter what I post, they're still clumping them all in the same category. Whether you're drinking a 2016, 2010, or whatever, they're not going to differentiate between that. So, as far as I'm concerned, Beer Advocate and Rate Beer suck. If you want an accurate description and rating of what beer you're drinking or buying, go to Untapped. That's why I still post on there, and I don't post on any other site. You're going to get a more accurate review and rating of the beer that you're buying or drinking. So, with that being said, let's do the final chug on this one. Not super impressed with this. I probably would not purchase this beer. For what this beer probably cost Rico to buy and ship to me, you can buy better beers. And I hate to say that, because Firestone Walker does really tasty beers, and it is a tasty beer. I'm not going to take it away from the beer, but it is a pricey beer to buy. So you can get a bourbon barrel aged version of a beer, maybe not in a 22-ounce bottle, but in a 12-ounce bottle you can get a tastier beer than what they're providing here. So, I'll go. Tasty beer. Alcohol is very well hidden for 11.8%. I think the blonde versions of these styles of beer show you they're using a different malt, a lighter colored malt, than what the typical barley wines are going to produce with that deep, rich red mahogany color. And for what you're paying for this high dollar packaging they've done on this, you could probably buy something in a 12-ounce bottle that's probably going to be a little tastier than this. Just my humble, honest opinion, guys. But for the final beer of the evening, for me, it was very tasty. I don't think it's world class or outstanding by any means. I've had better. So you may disagree with me, and I won't argue with that a bit. If you think it's a 10 beer, by golly, buy all you can get your damn hands on. But I've had better than this. I'm not a big fan of the blonde barley wines that I'm not getting a big bourbon note or something like that from, especially for the price that I would pay or Rico has paid for this beer. So I do think it's an A beer, but it's an A- beer to me. And that's what I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a 90, just barely into that grade. So, and like I told you, Beer Advocate has it. They got them all clumped together, and they're saying it's a 95. I don't think it's a 95, guys. It's a 90 from me. And over to Untappd, they have the 2016 edition listed. They have 4.22, which is in their A- scale. That's where I'm giving it. And they're giving it a little bit better grade than I am. So maybe they have drank it a little fresher than when I'm drinking the 2016 edition. It is a good beer. Don't get me wrong, it is a very tasty beer. Gets you in the hammer lane pretty quick for 11.8% or almost 12%. And the alcohol is super well hidden. I'm not going to take that away from them. It is a very well made beer, which Firestone Walker is known to do. So depends on what your palate is and what you like to drink and what you're paying for the beer and what you're getting in the beer. So to me, A-, 90 for me. So if you've had this from Firestone Walker, this is the Helldorado 2016 edition. Let me know what you think. Tasty beer, but not world class, not outstanding. Decent, tasty, well made, and cellared well, but not outstanding. So if you've had this one recently, the 2016 Helldorado, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.